Welcome and welcome to the present. How we doing this beautiful Monday morning? I hope you guys are doing very, very, very great. Yes, 2 days after a very good victory against Southampton. I'm sure you saw that game and the apprehension I always have when Arsenal play sometimes. Like it's Arsenal, right? Which will making Southampton's victory very, very easy. But understand it's football, things can happen. If you even listen to the post-match press conference of the Southampton boss where he praised all defense, especially in the first half for what they did, the resilience, how they limited Arsenal into defensively. They didn't make us create clear-cut chances. So it's easy for us to analyze from Arsenal perspective, which we're beating Southampton easily. We are the better team. Nobody's debating that we're the better team. We have the stronger team on the starting 11 and on the bench. We should be making easy of Southampton, but unfortunately, football doesn't work that way sometimes, right? If it doesn't work that way, what you're expecting sometimes might not be what it's going to be on the day, but you just have to find a way to make sure you do your due diligence and do what you have to do. The most important thing and the priority is that is for us to win, and we won. And if you look at the scoreline actually flatters Southampton. 3-1 flatter Southampton, even though I understand we didn't clear-cut chances in the first half. We had to wait till Southampton scored the first goal in the second half. Then we woke up suddenly and we had to do what we have to do. But it is what it is. We won. I am happy. And we have to talk about the fact that we've not had a bad start with Premier League. We've not had a bad start. And I'll tell you why. Before I tell you why, do me that kind of favor, especially if you're live right now, if you're watching later after this live is done, please like the video. Very, very important. Subscribe if you're new. Make sure you turn on your notification bell. One more time for those at the back who didn't hear me the first time. Please like the video. Very, very important. Subscribe if you're new, and make sure you turn on your notification bell. Very, very, very important. Shout out to Mr. Igeye. Shout out to you. So let's look at it, because see, people will say, "Wow, am I talking about the fact that after 7 games, I'm giving Arsenal a lot of kudos." So see, we can't have it both ways, especially the 7 matches or just 7 games Crusaders. Because if after 7 games, Arsenal were behind City and Liverpool with 7 points, or were 7th on the league, what will be the narrative? Leave it in the comment section for me. What do you think the narrative of the mainstream media, some of the Arsenal fan base, is a subsection of the Arsenal fan base, and the rivals? What do you think would be a narrative, even though it was after 7 games? Arsenal were just languishing in the 7th, right? Arsenal were behind City and Liverpool with 7 points. They'll be old. Arsenal in trouble. Arteta cannot hack it. Maybe it's time for us to look at Mikel Arteta. But now, after 7 games, right, we are third, comfortable on the 1 point behind City. I think 2 points behind. Let me make sure I'm correct. So we are a point behind Liverpool, same point with City. Somehow it's just 7 games. You can't have it both ways. No, I disagree. You can't have it both ways. If you are you can't try to minimize it after 7 games. On the flip side, if we're not doing as good as this, you will turn on us. So you can't have it both ways. So for me, if you look at the injuries we've had within the stints of these 7 games, right? Timber has been in and out. Ben White in and out. Merino just started playing for us. Jesus, even though he has a poor has been in and out. We had a few stop and start and a few injuries, but yet we found ways to stay within touching distance with City. Very, very important. We found ways to stay within touching distance with City and Liverpool. Very, very important. Even though we have injury scares here and there, Odegaard has been out for how long? Remember, the rival fans were excited that Odegaard was going to be out for a bit. They were celebrating that. We've managed that situation very, very well. And kudos to Arteta and his coaching staff. They've managed it very, very well. We've managed the fact that we don't have any other traditional 10. We had to adjust. Within those 7 games, we played Spurs away, Aston Villa away, Man City away, and we garnered 7 points from 9 from those 3 away fixtures. And you're going to tell me it's just 7 games? No, you're going to give Arsenal their full credit. Because on the flip side, like I mentioned earlier, if Arsenal after 7 games were languishing at 7, we're 7 points behind City and Liverpool, you won't be as gracious as this. So you can't play fast and lose. Shout out to Mr. Igay. The Kai Havertz goal was top class. Exactly. I remember people giving it to me when Arsenal actually acquired Kai Havertz, and I was like, this guy is a top striker. Give him some time. Give him at least 1 or 2 seasons. If you don't like it, see, it's fair not to like a signing. It might not be a cup of tea. I'm not forcing any signing down your throat, but if your club makes a signing that you don't like, you just have to support it's your club, right? You have to support your club. There are players we've acquired in the past. I didn't like them. But guess what? I am going to say, okay, maybe the club knows something I don't know. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and let them prove me right or wrong. But the fact that people within the Arsenal fan base were unwilling to give Kai Havertz a chance, and you call yourself fans, is embarrassing. I don't care about now that everybody's beginning to come to Kai Havertz. No, it's too late. I'll tell you why it's too late. I understand rival fans making a mockery of the signing. I understand mainstream media doing their job, try to scrutinize everything. But as a fan base, I'm not saying you should buy everything, but at least give him a chance. No. Most Arsenal fans were not going to give him a chance. They're calling him a bomb, a donkey, a giraffe, because that was the mainstream way to find a very funny nomenclature against your own player. Against your own player. Like, I can't believe this. Guys, come on, the likes are not popping. Please like the video. Guys, please like the video. We have at least 3 people in the building right now. Please support me by liking the video. Very, very important. Like, against you can't do that. So back to the conversation. I am happy with what I am saying from Arsenal. Even though it's just 7 games, we are going to still give Arsenal their credit. I look at the context of the injuries we've had. Look at the context of the kind of games we've played. Look at the context of we've played 2 UEFA Champions Leagues. And guess what? 1 draw, 1 win. Kai Havertz, that is supposed to be a donkey, has played 7 games, 4 goals and a few assists in the Champions League. He has one goal and an assist. It's not looking bad. This same malign Kai Havertz that was a donkey that is not good enough. So we have to look at everything. For me, I'm looking at this season with the fact that we've not had Merino play substantial games. We've not had Odegaard play substantial games, and we are doing this well. Is giving a good season in prospect. Is giving a good season in prospect. So any quote unquote Arsenal fan, because we have funny Arsenal fans within the fan base who like to highlight things that should not be highlighted. Like, injuries are part of the game. You cheering on Edu and Arteta when players get injured, I say these players plan injuries with Edu and Arteta, or as Arsenal and Arteta can prevent injuries, especially when these things can be innocuous. It's farcical to me. Extremely funny to me. So I'm loving what I'm saying, and I'm liking the trajectory of this team. I am loving the trajectory of this team. Now, let's talk about Kai Havertz and Saka. Those 2 players are doing a lot for us. Kai Havertz and Bukayo Saka, they're doing a lot for us. They're basically carrying the team. I like the fact that their ways are available, even though we are hearing Kai Havertz has pulled out of the German national team with a quote-unquote knee issue. Is it knee issue, or should I say dark arts? Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe I'm looking too much into it as an Arsenal fan. Is that actually knee issue, or is it just dark arts? And see, Arsenal has got to the place that we have to be sensible to our players too. We know these players are playing too many games, in our opinion, but we have to know the games our players should play and our players should withdraw from. We have to be sensible. Other clubs do it. We have to do it when it's needed. So, guys, the likes have not changed. Please like the video. Please like the video. Very, very important. So that other people can join us in this live. Please, it's very important. If you're watching the playback, please like the video, subscribe if you're new here, and make sure you turn on your notification bell. I'm so happy for him. What I love is that he can do everything as a forward and a striker. I think it's funny, the comparison between Kai Havertz and Haaland, because in my opinion, Haaland is one trick pony. Yeah, for me, they're not the same. They're not the same. Kai Havertz can play as a midfielder if you want him. He can drop deep. He can link up play with the team. He's a playmaking striker. That's Kai Havertz. Why Haaland is a service striker? That's why if you don't give Haaland the service, he's as good as useless. Nobody's saying Haaland is not a fantastic striker who gives you goal return in draws. Right? Haaland will give you the game return, the goals you want in return quickly, but he's a service striker. He doesn't link up play. He doesn't come deep to help the team. I'm not saying he doesn't do it at all. He doesn't do it at a high level that you consider him as like this guy does at the level that is acceptable. So Haaland is a service striker. Kai Havertz is a playmaking striker who can do everything. We know in terms of being more little and the goal ratio, Haaland is ahead of Kai Havertz. But in terms of playing with the team and fitting into a traditional team and fitting the system Arsenal plays, come on. I'm sorry, Haaland doesn't come close to Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is a perfect striker for our system, for how we play and how we do our things. So for me, Haaland is a pure service striker. Pure service striker. So back to this season, Saka doing his bit. We see this dumb argument of Saka and Foden, Saka and Kopama, Saka and who again? Madueke. I am tired of having it. We know which is which. We know that Saka, for me, is your king. Let's just drop it. Like Saka has been consistent for 4-5 years for both club and country. Listen carefully. He has been consistent for both club and country. It is not that he fits only to the Arsenal system. You take out of the Arsenal system, he will not produce. Unlike our friend Foden, you take out of the Man City system, it's like taking a fish out of water. So one has proven to be able to do it within the Arsenal system and out of the Arsenal system, and one struggles. And for Kopama, show us consistency for the next 2 or 3 years. Maybe you can have a conversation. But right now, I'm not ready to have that conversation. I'm not saying Kopama is not doing great, but he has to do it constantly, like Saka has shown us. And for Madueke, it should not even be in a conversation. He's doing bits this season. Let's see the consistency across board. Let's wait. There's no need to be in the hurry. So you understand, football fans, they will bring up dumb arguments. It is where they have us the team so well. That's what I wanted to say. Exactly. And just 24. I think he's going to 25 this season. So he's not even in his prime. He fits the way we play to the T. Havertz is just like a duck into our own water. He fits us so perfectly. People should just bring Haaland. Now, you could bring Haaland. I'm not saying Haaland will not score goals for us now. But will he fit the way we play? I don't think so. I do not think so. 100% I don't think so. So for me, Saka and Kai, they've been doing their bits. I love their consistency in terms of they're not just impacting the team, they influence the team. See, goals and assists can be very misleading sometimes. Now, I love the fact that both players have goals and assists and influence on the team. Because if you look at football 10 years ago, before the madness of statistics came into play, before this over-exaggerated use of stats, we did not rate Xavi and Iniesta based on goals and assists. You could see the quality and their influence on games. They didn't need this mammoth consistency of goals and assists. No, you could see the quality. See, how many GAs did Iniesta have? How many GAs did Xavi have? How many GAs did Busquets have? Ambrosini. How many GAs? Guti. All these quality players I just mentioned, they didn't have a lot of GAs, but you see, it's funny that these days we are trying to judge players based on goals and assists. 20 years ago, where football didn't come to existence 20 years ago or 2 years ago. We've been watching football for over donkey years, and you didn't need goals and assists those days to know a great player or a good player. Objectively, unanimously, you could see a good player and recognize it. You didn't need GA. I'm not saying throw GA in the bin. I'm just saying let's bring back good faith analysis. Let's watch football in good faith. I understand tribalism of football. I understand the rivalry, but we can still be fair and objective and truthful. You can still be fair, objective, and truthful. This nonsense of GA exaggeration, how many goals and assists, that's why you can see some players are stack padding, but they don't have any influence, key influence on their teams. But Saka, Havertz are having a key influence on the team. Now, let's talk about title race. If people say it's too early to talk about title race, it's just 7 games. It's true. But on the flip side, like I said earlier, after 7 games, if Arsenal just won just 2 games and lost 2 and drawn 1, what will be the conversation? I'm sure the media are going to rip into Spurs today with their disappointing loss to Brighton yesterday. Nobody was talking about it's just 7 games. Let's become on Spurs because we know every point matter these days, especially with the bar and that Man City has set. Every point matter. You can't afford to be dropping points here and there. You cannot. The Premier League is so highly competitive. You cannot afford to be saying, I can draw this game and lose this game. It matters. You have to keep yourself within touching distance. Ask Spurs. Ask Man United. Ask Villa that dropped points yesterday against a Man U that should be beaten. So you have to keep yourself within the conversation. So you are not going to just tell me, oh, it's just 7 games. Which, like I said, I see the meritocracy of that conversation that don't get too excited. I'm not saying let's get on a tour bus after 7 games. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying let's begin to celebrate that we are champion after 7 games. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, okay, it's just 7 games. Let's be level-headed. Let's keep doing what we are doing. And on the flip side, if we're losing and we're not doing well, you know the questions the mainstream media will be asking this by now. You know Arteta's future will be a huge debate right now. We all know we know the truth. So let's not lie. Let's not lie. Saka is turning to a superstar. Other fans can't even find an argument to downplay his game with his games anymore. They'll still find a way to compare with Kopama. That's my argument, right? I understand Saka is a superstar. You see, that one is not a debate. But they'll still find a way to compare him with Noni Madueke. How can you conveniently compare Saka with Noni Madueke? That is for me disrespectful. Even though I understand and acknowledge what Noni Madueke is doing, but it's disrespectful to compare him with Saka in terms of what we are watching week in, week out. Season in, season out. You're going to compare Noni, who has had a handful of good games because it's got a hat-trick against it's got a hat-trick win. You're going to compare him to Saka. Let's not be silly. That is what is actually grinding my gears. You cannot be that disrespectful. Let's not have a bad-fitted argument on this. So let's talk about Martinelli too. I remember the conversation regarding the fact that Martinelli is finished. We have to replace him with Nico Williams. If we don't buy Nico Williams, we are done. Really? I remember saying, I am not going to defend an indefensible, right? Martinelli has been struggling for the last 1 year. But it doesn't mean he's finished. Players have this kind of phases, especially when they are young. It happens. Exactly. Against Wolves. Thank you, Matthew. Shout out to you. Like, it's just a phase. It's to come and pass. So, suddenly, Martinelli is finished. Do you come from Arsenal fan? Like, you can't do that. You can't be that idiotic. Can we criticize that he's not performing at optimal level? Yeah, you can do that. In isolation, you can do that. But say if Martinelli is finished, you have to replace with him. What has Nico Williams done this season for Atletico Bilbao? And I'm happy that in the last 2 games, Premier League games, Martinelli has found a scoring boots again. The confidence is beginning to return to his gameplay, the pace, the aggression. There is something we don't actually acknowledge regarding Martinelli. He does a fantastic job. I'll sometimes say a yeoman's job, offensively and defensively. And that left part of the left part of the pitch. He is very attacking and he doesn't forget to put in his defensive shift. Even though when he was struggling for form, then he's beginning to grind himself back into form. What is it? He can never score more than 6 goals in the season. What do you mean? I talk about Martinelli or Madu, so I don't conflate the conversation. Matthew, I would like to know what are you talking about? Can never score more than 6 goals in a season? Because Martinelli has scored more than 6 goals in a season before. So is Martinelli? Are you being facetious or are you just joking? So back to Martinelli. I just think sometimes we have to give our players a chance. Like rival fans do not owe us the kind of benevolence and leniency on our players, and I understand that. But Arsenal fans that were over the top critical about Martinelli, that shame on you. For me, shame on you. You over the top criticize Martinelli. I'm not saying in isolated games we cannot call him to question, but to say he's finished, he should be replaced by a player that is not even better than him. Just that Martinelli is just struggling for form. A player that if he comes to the league, there is no guarantee that he's going to perform while trying Martinelli. So just like what Jesus is going through right now, people you see, Jesus had a horrible game against Southampton. I ain't defending that. What I'm defending is that you can't say Jesus is finished. It's useless. Let's replace him with immediate alacrity. That is what I don't stand for. Jesus has been poor, horrible against Southampton, making bad choices, over dribbling sometimes, holding on to the ball too long, running into areas where he should be running into. Because I saw Jesus run into Sterling's position. No, stay. You are the number 9. Stay in your rightful position. I saw that. But to now say Jesus is totally finished, he's washed. I mean, he's washed. You start learning Arabic and go to Saudi. Come on, guys. That is extreme. Especially if you're an Arsenal fan with this kind of rendition. If you're an Arsenal fan with this kind of nomenclatures in your mouth, vocabulary in your mouth that Jesus is washed, he should go to Saudi, and you mean it. Now, I understand if you're just being cheeky to make light of the situation. I get it. You can make some jokes about our players, but if you're serious that it's finished, it should be sold. Nah, we can't do that. That's extreme. Just like I said about Martinelli, Jesus will find his form this season. He will find his form. Is he annoying sometimes? Yeah. Especially with the injuries and coming back and struggle for form, it's very annoying. But you cannot tell me Jesus is done and dusted and is finished. I think that's unfair. Clearly, they don't believe what they are saying about Saka for the pure fact that they are using Saka as a barometer of comparison all the time. Should tell you, like I made a video regarding that. Exactly. The fact that any emerging player or quote unquote star is compared to Saka, the argument is done. If Saka was that bad, why is he the standard of comparison? If Saka is that horrible, why is it the barometer of measurement for these players? If Saka is that horrible, it just tells you how much Saka lives rent-free in their head. Saka be living rent-free in this opponent's head all the time. He's so horrible that he lives rent-free in their head all the time. That tells you everything you need to know. Shout out to you, Matthew. Nico can never come on. Exactly. But yet, he should come and replace Martinelli. I'm not saying Nico Williams might not do bits in our system, or Arteta cannot get the best out of Nico Williams with a great system. I'm not saying that he cannot do that. But to tell me audaciously that Nico Williams will just come and take the Martinelli's shirt, you mad? What you watching? I'm not saying Martinelli is not struggling for form. He is. But this Nico Williams hype, it's all hype. It's all hype. You watch a few highlights and you're excited because they play. You guys watch this highlight with the right tempo of music behind it, and they are showing you the best part. It's called highlight for a reason. The best part. They're not showing you a total clip of a full game. The best part he had in selected games, and most of you are creaming in your pants about a player that is not guaranteed to come to the Premier League and hit it off. Not guaranteed. One more time, listen to understand. I'm not saying there's not a chance that Nico Williams could come to this league and hack it and do well. But to be so certain that he will come and bench Martinelli, no, you're being too that's fast. That you're being audacious. No, I don't buy that. I don't buy that. He's a good player, but the sample size doesn't suggest him to be a world-class player. It doesn't. Martinelli scored 10 goals for Arsenal as an 18-year. Exactly. See, the problem is that people over familiarity brings disrespect. Trust me. It takes a level of maturity to be familiar with people and still respect them. It's over familiarity that is causing disrespect. We've seen a good Martinelli, and we're not seeing a Martinelli that is struggling for form. So we're like, let's bin him. No grace. No leniency. Even though you know clearly Martinelli in the last 1 year has been struggling for form. And it's just a temporary thing. Not that he's going to struggle for form forever. It's just temporary. You can see it in the last 2 games. Martinelli's rhythm is coming back. He has scored. He's getting back into the groove. Give him that chance. Don't write him off. Don't say go and bring Nico Williams. I'm not saying if we can bring Nico Williams, he's willing to come and can afford it. I'm not against giving Arsenal a competitive squad. I am not against that. I'm just saying that if you're going to create a competitive squad, create it objectively, not based on sentiment or based on what you think it could be. Because, like Matthew said, I've not seen Nico Williams score like 10 goals in a season or 15 goals in a season. He just started emerging in the last 1 year. There's no enough sample size for us to be sure that Nico Williams will bench Martinelli. But somehow, because Martinelli is struggling at the moment and Nico Williams had a decent season last season, let's bring him and bench Martinelli. Now, this new toy syndrome has to have a limit, and that we have to be sensible with it. Not every new thing is better than what you have at hand immediately. You can't do that. That is so unreasonable and senseless. So for me, I'm happy Martinelli is getting back to form. Martinelli has scored 17 less goals than Saka, even though he doesn't take penalties, which is true, and played 5,000 less minutes in his career. People don't care about it. It's about narrative. People don't care about the objective truth. It's about feelings at the moment, especially if you see what Martinelli has done for the team. Even though, like I said, when he's struggling for form, he still puts in a good shift. He pulls players away, provides the defensive shape for the team. He's still creative for the team. And like I said, everything is not GA. There are times where players have influence on games without having GA. Have we lost our brains? How many GA? One more time. Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, how many GA did they have? But they have influence on games. GA is not everything. I'm not saying you should bring GA. I'm saying look at the game objectively. Watch games. Watch it with your eyes. Watch the game with your eye. If you go by GA alone, you think Havertz is a horrible player in comparison to Haaland. Because Haaland, for me, I'm not taking anything from Haaland, but Haaland for me is your typical king of GA. Look at the numbers. But when you watch Haaland in some games, it pisses you off. Even though he's scoring goals in droves. How many times have we seen Haaland, even in the last game they played against Fulham, against Newcastle? What did Haaland do? Because if Haaland doesn't score, he looks absolutely useless. But once he scores, people are shouting, "He's great." I'm not saying Haaland is not a great goal scorer. But when you watch games, do you enjoy what he does when he's not scoring goals? Nobody can tell me they enjoy what he does when he's not scoring goals, because it's not adding much to the team. There's no influence, there's no impact. And I'm not saying goals are not important. Goals wins you trophies and games, right? But you still want to have influence on the game, impact on the game. That's my basic argument when people come up with this nonsense GAs. Apply the right context and nuances when you are discussing this in totality about goals and assists, and watch games with your own eyes. I will never take statistics over watching games, because there are things that statistics cannot register. You have to watch games and see it by yourself. They did the same to Kai, and always they did the same to Kai, but always they will be proven wrong. No, Kai always proving everybody's wrong. Like I said, when we actually linked to Kai, I watched my old videos in the catalog. You can go check it out. I was surprised that Chelsea were willing to sell one of their best players, even though Chelsea fans were so sure and keen to get him out that it was not good enough. I'm like, your understanding of the game was poor. If you watch Kai Havertz, what he does on and off the ball, his movement, the fact that most defenders can't mark that, the way he moves is, I call it ghosting. You don't see him coming. One moment it's in midfield, before you know he's in the left wing, in the attack. You can't catch him. And if you have midfielders that can understand Kai Havertz movement, he will cook. He will surely cook. So, guys, like the video if you're watching the playback. Very, very important. Like the video, subscribe if you're new here, and make sure you turn on your notification bell. One more time, like the video, subscribe, and make sure you turn on your notification, especially if you're watching on a playback. So I'm happy as the way season is going thus far. Yes, the 7 days crusade was telling us it's all 7 games, but within that 7 games, we are still within touching distance. So don't try and play fast and lose, because it was 7 games and we're languishing in 7. It was 7 games. We've lost 3 or 4 out of those 7 games. You will not have you'll be telling us it's just 7 games. You'll be ripping us out to shreds. Ripping Edu to shreds, ripping Ateta to shreds with the injuries we've had with Odegaard out, Moreno out, Timber in and out of the team, Ben White in and out of the team. We've played Villa, we've played Man City, we've played Tottenham away and gathered 7 points from those 3 tough away games. So you can't tell me it's just 7 games. No, give me my full dues and credit. Give me my full plaudits that we've managed the situation very well. Give Ateta his full plaudits. He has managed the situation very well. So hopefully, this international break, our players can come back hale and hearty and with no injuries. I like the dark hours of Kai Havertz with the knee issue that he had to withdraw from the German national team. Kai Havertz deserves some rest, so let him rest. Timber too deserves to rest. Ben White, we know, doesn't play for England at the moment, so I like that. Let's be sensible and let's be smart to our players. We have to be very, very smart with our players. Kai had 26 GA as a 19-year-old and followed with a 27 GA as a 20-year-old, but apparently he can't do it now. Exactly. Oh, Lord, I'm loving this. I'm loving it. So we know, and they know he can do it. Especially now, it's undeniable. They know he can do it. So, guys, I'll be leaving for now. Thank you for joining me, Ige and Matthew. Thank you for making it very interactive this morning. I truly appreciate you guys, and you guys that are watching on the playback, thank you. Make sure you like the video, make sure you're subscribed, and make sure you turn on your notification bell. Very, very important. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.